For growmybag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. What's good? What's good? What's good? Apparently not the market. Apparently not the market. Hey, Rick Ritchie, thanks for letting us all know that you have invested in yourself. Let's do that. And tonight's question: what crypto sector grew into a $10 billion space or $10 billion market in 2025? DeFi, metaverse, privacy, or other? If it's other, drop it in the comments. So today, if you woke up and looked at the market, pick one. You were not feeling all that well. It was a day that you kind of wanted to look away. You kind of wanted to look like this. Why? The market tanked. In a massive fashion, the market tanked. And not a good thing, right? Except I think it kind of was a good thing. The reason why I think it was a good thing is because it's going to cause a reality check. And I think a lot of companies got that check today. Meta blew up in a good way. Why? Because they were spending money on implementing AI solutions. And the market has clearly said, we don't care about your AI tools. We care about how you're implementing solutions, leveraging those tools. And it's funny. One of my friends, John Cook, had said to me the other day, giving me a compliment. He said, listen, nobody's going to care about the people that make tools. They're going to care about the people that have the creativity to create solutions. And that was huge. Captain Banana, thank you for letting us know that you have invested in yourself. Nothing to apologize about. Not a thing. Not a thing. The orange thing was funny. Anyway. So, and I'm sorry I wrote sir. I don't know why I wrote sir. I was just thinking, anyway, you know what I meant. And calm down. We don't need you getting into a fight with Siri tonight. Okay. Just saying. I know it's Thursday. No fights with Siri tonight. I know you two have like this thing. Actually, maybe you and Siri will start getting along because, she's Gemini now. She's a Gemini now. I know, bad joke. Anyway, so when I look at the market, I'm kind of like, yeah, it played out exactly how JK said it. It literally was, if you were doing the wrong thing, if you weren't paying attention, if you were just out there building tools for the sake of building tools, build it and they will come. Oh, they came all right with pitchforks. Microsoft got hammered 2 days in a row. Hammered. It was like this. It was in the top 5 losses in like years. I think it was the second biggest market cap loss, second only to Nvidia. Yeah. They came for you. If you're building AI tools and you're just saying, "Oh, well, this tool will do this for you." But you're not the person that actually came up with I wish I had a tool for this. This is the problem. Yeah, nobody wants to hear about that. So Meta got nothing but love from the street because of that. And Microsoft got hammered. Give me a moment. Let me say hello to people. Stanley, what's good? What's good? What's good? Thank you for letting us know that you invested in yourself. Aloha 8 Paws. Thank you for letting us know that you invested in yourself. Same for Hutanic. Thank you for letting us know that you invested in yourself. These are all very big things. Captain Banana, Hutanic, 8 Paws, Rick Ritchie. These people have been around for years. They know. Doing your own research, knowing your entries and exits, and absolutely investing deliberately, mad important. Mad important. So many people are going out there and chasing after the FOMO, but I digress. Back to AI. When I hear about people that are leveraging AI to do trades for them, what kind of trades? What kind of trades? Is AI analyzing the stock or analyzing that vehicle for you, that revenue stream? How? What are you doing? Specifically, what are you doing? As Rick Ritchie said last night, AI has been around since 1956. It's just open to the general public now. You're a Gemini. That means you should get along. So if you have issues with Siri now, oh my Lord, I am going to crack up. Big time. Big time. You're a Gemini. Oh, this is going to be fun. So anyway, so when I look at this, I sit here and I just kind of go, what are the solutions, especially for things that are being leveraged for the financial institutions, especially for people that are looking for that kind of in-house financial analyst, especially for those people that are looking for that in-house crypto analyst. What are you doing? How are you building your models? Are you having it help you build the model? Are you having it help you test the model with historical data? What are you doing? See what I mean? Most people don't even get that far. They think that coming up with, a quick sheet about what that particular stock or crypto is doing, that's good enough. Oh, I can just go get you tokenomics and you'll be fine. No. If I'm looking at a stock, I want a comparison between the MACD and RSI, for instance. This is simple stuff. You feel me? This is simple stuff. I'm looking for deeper analysis. But what I'm really looking for are people that have a creative mind that can come up with, oh man, I can save a half hour a day. I can save an hour a day. I can do more because this can help me with an analysis that would have taken me a week that I can now do in hours. Or in some cases, minutes. That's what the street is looking for. That's why Microsoft got hammered. Because all you can hear from Microsoft is, well, we're getting there. We're doing this. We're doing that. But you haven't done it yet. And they've got a hard part. They're going after the enterprise market space. And the problem is that you need data centers. So you got to, this is how you know there's an overreaction. I literally heard somebody say, well, they're just going to have to build their buildings faster. And I sat there looking at the television thinking to myself, you paid for that education? Or your parents paid for that education? You just have to build the buildings faster? Now, I understand that, maybe he meant that there's so much going on, you just have to do it faster. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. It's more than just putting up four walls. And lest you forget, there are huge energy problems. Then on top of all that, put that to the side for a minute. On top of all that, Microsoft, Amazon, 3 other companies are looking to put over $100 billion. Oh, my bad. Yeah, over 100. I think it's $110 billion into OpenAI. And I heard the best comment because it was the same comment that I had. The comment that I had was, so how much money are you going to pour into that sinkhole to try to stop this bubble from bursting? Because that's what's going on. You're dumping all that money because, what is it, SoftBank? Masa-san, he's trying to come up with, $60 billion or something like that. Microsoft and a couple of others are trying to come up with a whole ton of money. Amazon by itself is trying to come up with $50 billion to dump in there. Oh, they're in it for the long haul. And truth be told, I think they're cooked. I think they're cooked. I think they account for, from what I understand, about 40% of the market, these tech companies. So when they go, everything's going to get hurt. 401ks that invested in this stuff, all that stuff. It's going to explode. It's going to explode or implode. It's going to implode from the weight of the unbridled lack of expectation control. Because Sam Altman was out there talking about AI is going to do everything. It's going to do everything. And until you realize that AI is only correct like 30-40% of the time at best. They don't call it a lie, they call it hallucination. I call it a calculation now. Because I know better. They know better. It's a calculation. Some calculations are better than others. Some calculations bring good results. Some calculations bring bad results. It's still just a calculation. It's not that much better than guessing. It's pretty much a calculation that is guessing. Because of all the data that we have, it's saying the chances are this is the next letter, this is the next word, this is the next phrase, the next sentence. That's the way it works. Have you invested in yourself today? So you start to realize, holy crap. Then you take a step back, or I took a step back, and I looked and I said, great, who's involved in this mess? Who has the OpenAI albatross around their neck directly and then indirectly? Remember I told you that, it was on the morning show and I said, ServiceNow is going to report, and I'm very interested to see what ServiceNow has to say, because it's nothing more than basically a really high-end ticketing system. But I can do that with AI and automation. I mean, hell, you could have done that with email. It's just more sophisticated. That's all. Excuse me. So what are you doing? Right? And guess what? ServiceNow came out and they dropped 10%. 10%. Imagine if we, like I've used this example before, if we all went to the bank and we asked for 10% and a bank took a 10% hit, they would cringe and be like, there's a run on the bank, and everybody would panic. You could do that for half that number. They would lose their freaking minds. Absolutely lose their freaking minds. So imagine you're this company and you drop 10%. Imagine you're Microsoft. Dumbfounding. They dropped over $320 some odd billion. You know what's really funny is they dropped in market cap the amount of money that Warren Buffett has. Well, whoever the new guy is that's in charge. They dropped the equivalent of what they have in cash. I know that's funny. That's absolutely funny. Rick Ritchie in the house. Thanks for letting us know, man. I have no idea what you're talking about. Too many analogies, man. Too many analogies. So ServiceNow took a hit. Everybody is taking a hit. Amazon. So last year, Amazon said they're going to get rid of 30,000 people. Last year, they got rid of 14, and 16,000 found out the hard way that they were being let go. And some companies are saying, oh, well, it's because of AI and automation. It's because you spent so much money on it, and now you got to figure out how to get that money back. Now, Amazon can take it on the chin because they employ so many people, but they also employ so many freaking robots. Dead serious. Things are afoot. Things are changing. UPS is taking a hit. And these companies aren't just dropping people that are in warehouses and things like that. They're dropping white-collar workers that are sitting and working in offices. None of this is small potatoes. But a lot of these companies are taking hits because AI did not work out for them the way they thought it would. Millions of dollars, some would say billions of dollars being spent on implementing AI. And boy, did that not work out. If you're in the financial industry, you know that there was basically a test run period where if you just said AI, you were going to get funding for your program or project. There's a commercial running around right now where a young lady sitting there on a Zoom, basically a Zoom call, and all you hear from the other person is AI, 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 AI. And I was just like, wow, AI is now a meme. Have you seen all the memes going around because of AI? And some of you might be thinking, why is he talking about this? Why is he rambling on about this? It's because the impact on our bags is freaking ridiculous. It's almost profound. This AI is going to have a bigger impact on us than an institution implementing blockchain technology. Captain Banana, I love you. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. Very, very much. So when I look at all of this, I literally sat there today and I was like, man, I hope everybody's doing their own research right now. I looked at the market and I was in a conference call with my team. I'm going to show you a couple of things tonight. And my team was like, yo, I woke up in the middle of the night. Things are not looking pretty. And I was like, yo, we should invest. I was like, who's got 2 pennies to rub together? Let's go invest. And they were like, you're insane. I reached out to my boy, Elliot. I was like, yo, yo, dog. Yo, check this out. Yo, this is it's a crash sale. And he was like, it's only a a flash crash if it recovers. I said, I think it's going to recover. On what basis? You've oversold Microsoft. Like, you've clearly oversold Microsoft. The insanity of overselling Microsoft because Microsoft's cloud business had an adjustment introduction. It's still going up. Cloud services are still growing. It's just not growing fast enough. They were growing like this before, and now they're only growing like this. Really? Seriously? Sometimes I look at people and I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. So when I look at Microsoft, I'm kind of like, Microsoft has so many avenues, so many revenue streams. And the revenue stream that the street was crying about was that one. The other revenue stream that they were crying, or not revenue stream, but what's a good word for it? Obligation is a decent word. It's not the word I was thinking of, but obligation is good. What's the obligation that they have wrapped around their neck right now? OpenAI. They got hammered because of OpenAI. Ubiquitous is a good word, isn't it? I feel like I should have a glass of wine in my hand and have my pinky up and say ubiquitous. That's what I always thought about that word. It's a very sophisticated word. But when I look at Microsoft has, and I've said this in a couple of shows, Microsoft has a small problem. I don't really need Microsoft Office anymore, do I? For the price that they want you to shell out? Do I really need Microsoft Office? What can I do in Microsoft Office that I can't do in Google's realm? Sheets, docs. I mean, I really don't want my stuff saved up in the cloud to begin with. So I have my own cloud. But what do I need with that? But nobody was really talking about that. But I'm talking about it because if I have AI, I kind of don't need that, right? Which means I don't need Copilot. That would help me create microslop. They hate that term, microslop. But I wouldn't need that. The only product you can't find anywhere else is SharePoint. That's a fib. That's absolutely wrong. And here's a kicker. I don't need SharePoint. Most companies, or I'm not, let me rephrase. A lot of companies have SharePoint. It's a great product, but I don't really need it anymore. As a matter of fact, I don't really feel comfortable putting my documents on SharePoint anymore or any place in the cloud anymore. I'm back to having my own drives with dupes and all that good stuff locally. And some people are sitting there going, they're clutching all the pearls of information from around the neck. They're clutching their pearls right now. And the reason why, too many privacy policies have changed. Have you forgotten? Everybody's privacy policies have changed. Why? AI. Small changes that say, well, you store it with us. We should be allowed to look at it. We should be allowed to use it. Oh, we didn't mean to use it, but it got used. There's nothing we can do about it. Sorry about that. Huh? Yeah, no. No. So yeah, I have an issue with saving up into the cloud right now. And I don't see a way around it. Do I really need SharePoint? What's so cool about SharePoint? Because I'll tell you something. What used to be really cool about SharePoint is now called Power Apps and Flow, or Power Automate. It's Power Apps and Power Automate. It used to be called Microsoft Flow. Now it's called Power Automate. That was the coolest thing about SharePoint. They siphoned those pieces off of SharePoint. So now SharePoint's basically nothing more than a hard drive in the sky. The hell I need a hard drive in the sky for? I have almost 100 terabytes of storage in my house. Yeah. Slowly working toward a petabyte, but that's just me. But you see what I mean? So when I look at technology and I look at everything that's, replacing certain pieces of technology, because remember, I'm a technologist, consultant. This is what we do. I'm just looking at how all of the software companies now have to rethink, how do we make money? Right now, all the lemmings are still using Microsoft Office, still paying that monthly fee. I mean, right now, when I do a presentation, do I actually need PowerPoint? No, you don't. No, you don't. You want to get really jiggy with it, as you used to say when we were kids? I can create a solution leveraging automation and AI and have it create my PowerPoint or my presentation or Canva or one of these other services that are out there. But truth be told, the ideal solution is built locally. That way all my data, all my information stays here. And I can build that locally. The hell I need with that presentation for, huh? I don't need that. Not at all. Not at all. So companies are getting hammered because what people didn't hear are, here are solutions that we're building. Give me one moment. SharePoint is good for collaboration, news, and shared links for an organization's intranet, in my humble opinion. We're certified in SharePoint, and I can tell you now, none of that matters anymore. I don't need to do that. Everything that used to be cool about SharePoint is nothing more than a hard drive in the sky now. I can tell you that right now. It's nothing more than a hard drive in the sky. And I love SharePoint. But I realize I don't need it. The cool thing about automating SharePoint, that whole chunk was moved out of SharePoint and that was spun off into Power Automate. You want to build those nice little apps that can run on your phone? Yeah, guess what? That was ripped out of SharePoint and put into Power Apps. You want to have some really good, business intelligence Power BI thing going on? Yeah, you can go get Power BI, or you can take your data and let your internal LLM or AI go after it. Boom. There are alternatives for almost everything. And it doesn't take much to get there, is my point. So let's bring this full circle. Yo, D-Mac, what's going on? Because I almost missed that. People don't understand how to use AI properly. Boom. Before I left work today, I had to show some coworkers how to implement. And when you got home, you immediately poured yourself a drink, didn't you? I'm not even done reading your paragraph. I know when you got home, you poured yourself a drink because I know that hurt your head. Because it would hurt my head. Our company has had AI for over a year, and they were shocked. That last sentence tells me you poured yourself a big drink, not just a drink, a big drink. That would drive me insane. I have used LibreOffice for several years now. It's better than MS Office. Yeah, it's not about what tool you have or how you can replace it. It's just how I can cut costs and probably actually get more things done. That's really what it boils down to. And thank you for DMAC for letting us know you invested in yourself today. That's what it boils down to. Can I save money and get more things done? Like I said, there's nothing that SharePoint does that I need it for. Hold files? Oh, that's internally now. That's internally done now. I do not need SharePoint to hold my files anymore. I don't even save files on SharePoint anymore. We have a project set up that'll kick off soon. We'll be removing everything off of SharePoint. What little we have left. I'll say it like that. We're treating it as an archive. We've been treating it as an archive for years. It doesn't do anything. We started diving into Power Automate. Wow, this is really cool. And then we started learning other automation tools. And I have to say, one of the best tools out there is still N8N. But the whole point of me going through this is so you can see how you're looking at how you can be doing this with AI. Look at the rush that's going on with AI. Now stop, hold that thought in your head, switch over to the other side and go, how come we're not seeing that rush for blockchain technology in the financial sector? What was the first thing they did? Oh, let's invest in it. Let's buy some of that coin. Then it becomes, oh yeah, maybe we should, look into implementing that technology. JP Morgan got there first, didn't they? Yes, they did. Remember, it used to be called Onyx, and now it's JPM Coin or JP Coin or whatever the heck. And they changed the name of the team that's doing it. Yeah, but it started out as Onyx. In other words, JP Morgan's been at the forefront for years. For years. They got involved with Project Guardian. What was Project Guardian? What is Project Guardian? DeFi. It's DeFi. JP Morgan was already there for US banks, already there. But there was no rush to implement that technology. None. And I'm just sitting here and I'm looking at all that and I'm just going, wow, you guys wasted a lot of time doing a whole bunch of stuff and you weren't concentrating on what you should have been concentrating on. So why are you so surprised that some of these other younger, more nimble companies are coming along with that blockchain tech, smart enough to know how to implement it, get things done, and also leveraging AI to help them get things done? Creativity. Creativity is the number one thing that businesses and companies are looking for. I hate to say it, but that's true. I'm not going to repeat it, but Dark Horse, that's true. It's tough. It's dumbed down. I mean, AI is doing it again, right? People are sitting there going, oh, it can write my emails for me. So now you're not going to be able to form sentences. So now we're going to have a whole bunch of kids running around using words like anyways. Anyways. That's like my pet peeve. My kids know, don't say anyways in front of me. Don't say anyways in front of me. It will set me off. Rick Ritchie, I really don't care. Not what you said, but you know what I mean? I really don't care. He's made a show out of it. Oh, I'm going to choose him today. Because somebody said he was going to choose a couple of weeks ago. A couple of weeks ago, he said, I'm going to choose in a couple of weeks. Yeah, my man's not gone for another few months. I really don't care who he puts there. Some people think that it's going to be Reader. I really don't care. I really don't care. You want to know why? He chose Powell, and Powell chose to do his own thing. He chose to stick to the facts. The only time I'm going to care is if he chooses somebody and they prove to literally just do what he's told or do what they are told. You know, that's something else that's bothering me. I haven't heard any woman's name touted for that position. That's actually annoying. It's very annoying. I'll say this. One of the reasons why I find it to be annoying is because most women handle money better than men. Especially if they're mothers that have to run a household. Oh, they know how to stretch a dollar, don't they? Just saying. So it bothered me that not a single woman has been mentioned. I don't want anybody in that position that's going to make decisions based on what somebody who has bankrupted, 4 companies? Casinos, not just companies. You bankrupted casinos. I don't want you listening to him. I want you to do what's right to the best of your ability. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Captain Banana, you're being a pain in the tail. If you make me laugh again, I'm going to send you to the corner. That was dead on, though, right? Dead on. So for me, there are a lot of things that are happening right now, and there's a lot of wake up. There's a lot of wake up and attention coming on right now. But right now, the market's oversold. The market is way oversold. On the crypto side, on the stock side, way oversold. I don't understand how anybody can be sitting there going, oh, this is great. It's going to sit here. I just watched. I sat there all day long, just every now and then checking over and watching Bitcoin just plummet. Oversold. The fundamentals of Bitcoin point to Bitcoin should be way higher than where it is now. That's also called manipulation. So we have manipulation going on before that. And remember what I said, if things are going down and then you get bad news, here's something else for you to contemplate. So the Clarity Act passed the Senate today. Why did it pass the Senate today? Because there were more Republicans than Democrats. They voted on party lines, right? Something that's concerning to me is that they didn't want to put in any guardrails for grifting. No guardrails for grifting. So for me, you're not serious. So if there are no guardrails, you want to know what else happened today? CFTC and SEC said, oh, well, or CFTC officially came out and said that chairman said, oh, hey, by the way, yeah, we're probably going to remove, the obstacles for prediction markets. So those sports contracts that we were looking to, don't you worry about it. Straight up betting. That's called prediction. It's straight up betting. You have people on television reporting predictions as like it's news. They're reporting betting. Betting. Just saying. So right now, I've been combing the news and everything else, and I'm combing the news to see, well, how is this going to affect crypto? No place to run, no place to hide. Why do you think gold is still skyrocketing? Why do you think silver is still skyrocketing? These are the reasons why. So, yeah, I look at those things. Oversold is how you can make money, Rick Ritchie. You're not missing something. But most people are not realizing that things are oversold. The pendulum swings one way and it swings the other way. And people panic. But if you're like us and you do your own research, you know your entries and exits, and you absolutely invest deliberately, you're not panicking. You didn't panic at all. You sat there and you said, oh, I wonder when it's going to end because that's when I'm going to get in. Now, we seem to be hovering between $83,000 and $84,000 for Bitcoin. I don't know if that is the bottom, but that seems to be where we seem to be hovering. That seems like when everything went down, that seems to be where we've settled thus far. But then we got other news today that could definitely affect our bags. Apparently, we snatched a couple of people from Scotland. That's a problem because that can have an economic toll on us. Apparently, this administration, this regime, has been talking to some Canadian separatists. That got out into the news. It was reported by the Financial Times. You want to know why they reported that? Because that would be a huge financial problem for us. Like I said, we depend on Canada for a lot of different things. You want to build a house? Where's your wood coming from? It ain't China, it's Canada. Yeah. Our wood comes from Canada. You've got like 4 or 5 states that depend on energy from where? That's right, Canada. That's a problem. And we're undermining another government? That could absolutely cause a problem for us. Yeah, for this area, I have not stopped DCAing. DCAing just goes. Dollar cost averaging just goes. I learned that lesson years ago from Bob Zawisha, my financial planner from years ago. Okay. Bob Zawisha is the guy, if you listen to last night's video, Bob Zawisha is the guy that Barry Frankel and Fred Nelson brought into the Frankel group to talk to us about how to leverage money. I used him for years until I learned enough. But Bob Zawisha used to be the guy. He was my guy. And he taught me, hey, look, listen, dollar cost averaging, and you put it into mutual funds, and that dollar cost averaging, you just wind up going up. It just all averages out and you just go up. And I was like, really? So I just apply that to crypto. But I'm not blindly applying it to crypto. Like I said, I'm looking for use cases. I start DCAing in when I think it's close to the end. That's not DCAing. Just so you know, that's not dollar cost averaging. That is investing. Dollar cost averaging is saying I'm going to put in a certain amount of money on a regularly scheduled basis. Whether the market's high, whether the market's low, I'm going to put in money on a regularly scheduled basis. That's dollar cost averaging. As soon as you say, I start to DCA when you're investing, you're not dollar cost averaging. There is a difference. Nothing wrong with it, but that's not the definition of dollar cost averaging. If you wait till then and makes you late for the party, being early means you're on time. I understand what you're saying, but that's what makes the world go around, right? That's your strategy on how to invest. It's not my strategy. I'm gonna for when it comes to, for me to invest when something like this happens. See, now we're down to 82.8. Still going down. I said just a few minutes ago, I don't know if we're gonna go up. We could go down. I don't know where it is. We had settled there, and now we're at 82.7. Just saying. So I sit back and I wait. I wait to see if the dust is gonna settle. MicroStrategy, the last time Bitcoin took a nosedive, MicroStrategy bought all the way down and they bought all the way back up. Their strategy was basically every Monday, we're going to make a purchase. We're going to do this. They rode that crap all the way down and all the way up. And it's worked out for them. It's worked out for them. They're one of the few companies that it has worked out for. That's what I find to be interesting. Hold on, let me snatch this. There you go. Needed to snatch something. Screenshot. Yeah. What's going on, Michael McCaskill? The more it goes down, the bullish I become. In total agreement. I'm in total agreement with you. Because right now, it's not going down. Oh, wow. 82,155 right now, as per CoinMarketCap. I'm with you on that thought. Why is that? Not just because, 81. We're tanking right now. It's 81,971, back up to 82,277. Let me move this over so I don't keep rattling off numbers. It's my notes. I'm wholeheartedly with you because, like I said, the fundamentals of Bitcoin say this is nowhere near where it should be. So this is a buying opportunity. It's an absolute buying opportunity. Could it go down to like 75? Possibly. Maybe. Who knows? How long will it stay there? I'm guessing not long. I'm guessing that some of this is manipulation, and the other part is, well, the NASDAQ is taking a hit. It's technology. They look at this. They look at crypto as technology. It takes a hit. Simple as that. My mother is sitting beside me. Hello, Rick Ritchie's mother. Did you invest in yourself today? And told me to leave you alone and let you do your show. So I'm tapping out of the conversation. Mom knows best. Young lady, I appreciate that. But Richie, your son actually brings up a lot of good points. We don't always agree, but the man will always have you thinking. The best thing about the Grow My Bag community is that we can all come together and we can have these conversations and understand why you think the way you think and I think the way I think. Sometimes we don't think the same way, but I can almost guarantee you every time I hear somebody say something, I might not agree, but it made me think. That's why we're building this community. That's exactly why. So I appreciate it. And normally you do know best, but we don't mind when he makes comments. That's exactly what we want. There are a lot of new people in this community, and we all need to learn a little something. Even us old guys like me, we need to learn a little something new. I feel like I missed something from Captain Banana. Oh no, the last thing you wrote was sprinkle, sprinkle. Again, tonight's question, what crypto sector grew into a $10 billion market in 2025? DeFi, metaverse, privacy, or other? If it's other, drop it in the comments. You guys might be shocked. Intersect announced Cardano's protocol version 11 upgrade, the Van Rossum hard fork, focusing on Plutus performance and improvements and cleaner ledger rules. I'd like to see how that works out. I just want to see how that works out. The truth is, again, when I look at the market, I think there are a lot of people out there that just lost their freaking minds and they're panicking. They're panicking. I firmly believe that sooner or later the market's going to go up again. When this blows over, give it a few days. Give it a week. And people be like, oh, it oversold. Now, tomorrow's Friday. Friday is usually a sell-off day. Usually. Not all the time. Usually. So we'll see what happens. And also, there's a lot of, in the Northeast, there's still a lot of snow on the ground. There's still a lot of people in the South that are still dealing with all the snow, all the ice, and they have issues. So we have to see like what happens over the next couple of weeks to see, how it all plays out. But I think it's going to play out in that people have lost their minds already, and they're already thinking, oh, it's like people like me are just thinking it's oversold. It's clearly oversold. What's that thing that everybody says? Dude, you're playing too much. That's what I'm seeing. Sitting back and letting you cook. Thank you, Captain Banana, but you don't have to. We like the conversation. Especially if it's orange. So I'm looking at, who currently has a lock on a particular market. ASML, dominant in the EUV lithography space, reported Q4 2025 bookings of $7.4 billion from EUV systems, with a $500 billion valuation as it maintains a near monopoly on AI chip manufacturing. Design, they do the wafers. Then it goes over to TSMC, and they actually make all the chips. But like I said, China's got their own thing that they're working on, and they didn't show it off just to show it off. They showed it off to let everybody know we're coming. At some point, I'm sorry, but that last comment by Captain Banana cracked me up. At some point, we kind of have to stop and think about everything that's going on, right? You've got to look at everything that's going on. And you've got to look at the whole board and try to figure out, how am I going to invest? In what am I going to invest? And in who I'm going to invest. I'm not just looking at your use case. I'm looking at who's bringing it. Patient one sitting beside me and told me to leave you alone and let you do your show. So I'm tapping out of the conversation. I love you, patient one. But he wasn't bad today. So, I don't need you to do anything. I usually call you out so you can help me out. But he didn't do anything tonight. There's nothing wrong. Or I didn't see it. I could have missed it. Yeah, it's not Friday. You see, Friday's a big sell-off day, but I don't know. So we've had bad weather, and I don't know if tomorrow's going to be a sell-off day. It could be, and we take another hit, and then we come back Monday nice and strong with everybody going, why'd we oversell so hard? And they might not even ask that question. They might even just say, holy moly, look at these sales that are going on, and just start snatching up sales. Start snatching up sales. It's times like this that I start thinking about things in terms of long term. So right now, XAI is being spun into or being engulfed into SpaceX. They want to consolidate a little bit. And you definitely, if you're SpaceX, you absolutely want that AI company a part of your company. It brings in all those smart people, because remember, all those smart people freaking came from SpaceX anyway. So you're just bringing back your people. Patient one is going to feed you, or is she cooking dinner for herself? Just checking, asking for a friend. Bruh, your mother absolutely has the right to smack you in the back of the head, and I dare you to say no. I'm a grown ass man. If my mother told me to come here and bend down so she could smack me in the back of the head, I'm going to bend down so she can smack me in the back of the head. I might even act like it hurt. Just saying, that's mom's. I don't play like that. What mom says, that's what yeah, okay. But seriously, when you're looking at the market, I'm looking at things like MasterCard reporting Q4 2025 income of $4.1 billion, 24% gain year over year. 24% gain year over year. I'm going to drop your jaw in a moment. I said something last night, and nobody really said anything about it. But tonight we have a comparison. Tonight we have a comparison. So MasterCard reported Q4 2025 net income of $4.1 billion. Didn't I mention last night that Tether makes that in the same time frame? I wouldn't be surprised if it's more. But they're in that realm. Tether is in that realm. Quarterly, they make the same amount of money. Wow. Wow. Did anybody put that together? Did anybody else put that together? Just wondering. Did you happen to notice that? That's kind of a big deal. Because somebody sat there, I think last week? I think it was last week. Somebody was like, how do they make that money? Fees, bruh. Fees. And USDT is not the only coin they have. And they just launched their new, USDA? Their new US compliant stablecoin. Because they weren't going to change a thing about USDT. And I agree. They don't want anybody trying to tell them what they can do with USDT and how they have to do things with USDT. They're going to do what they do. And they're like, yeah, we're going to keep rocking and rolling with that, and we'll start a new one for you guys. They announced a while ago that they will start a new one in compliance with the Genius Act, and they did. They launched it. Is it going to grow fast? Oh, I definitely think it will wind up growing fast. But they're also not in a rush. Why? Because they have USDT. That's what I'm looking at. So I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, wow, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. I'm going to show you guys something before I get off. But first, let's answer this question. What crypto sector grew into a $10 billion market in 2025? Was it DeFi, metaverse, privacy coins, or something else? Guess what? Wasn't any of those, except it was other. Want to know what it is? You want to take one more crack? Yeah, it was DPINs, decentralized physical infrastructure networks. It grew to become a $10 billion market. And I think it's going to keep growing. Keep your eye on it. You're saying USDT has other sources of revenue. No, not USDT. Tether. Tether has other resources, revenue sources. Like I said the other night, they invested in a crypto company. They've been investing in different things like all over the place. They've invested. They're not just using gold as a reserve. They've invested in gold. That's huge. Huge. So yeah, when I look at Tether, I'm kind of like, you better pay attention to Tether. Pay attention to Tether. Circle's USDC is next in line, but I can tell you now, I don't think that USDC from Circle is going to maintain that number 2 spot. I don't think so. There are a few other stable coins that are coming up, and they're coming up quick. And I'm looking at it kind of falling off. I'm kind of like, wow. DAI is at number 20. They've got a long way to go to get to the market cap of a USDC. But when you sit back, you're kind of like, wow, that's Athena is ranked number 17. Just saying, because stablecoins do nothing but grow. The more you use it, the more they have to mint. You're going to see them grow. PayPal USD is now number 28. Just saying. Just saying. So yeah, there are a lot of things that we have to pay attention to. But I want to show you guys something. I'm proud of my team. I'm proud of my team. So let's go over to the feed. So this is the feed. And of course, you have, in the feed, I happen to drop all the links to the articles in case you happen to miss it throughout the day. We just drop the articles in there. But this is a pretty cool little mouse over thing. I can follow people. I can chat with them. I can block them if I want. Obviously, you can unblock. You can, unfollow, all that good stuff. Let's check out chatting. There you go. Look at that quick response. This is on the web. So yeah, we've got to doll this up a little bit, which is what we're working on now, but this works very well, I might add, in real time too. The team is kicking tail. Now you know why I keep saying you need to come back and you need to become a member so you can leverage this stuff. This is a very big deal. Very, very big deal. Just saying, pay attention to these things. Become a member. Go to growmybag.tv, become a member. We've got a lot of things going on and we've got more coming. We've got a heck of a lot more coming. So yeah, just saying. Just saying. We've got a lot and we've got more coming. Since the Bank of International Settlements made gold and silver tier 1 like U.S. Treasuries, if that is so, will the U.S. make stable coins, buy bonds? We already know that. That's a part of the Genius Act. Yeah, they are. That's exactly what they're going to have them do. I don't think that they're not going to allow them to buy metals. Gold is a thing. That would be that. Now you know why USDT is like, we'll give you your own coin. We'll make it US compliant. USDT, we're not changing the formula. It's been working. We're not touching anything. But I think that would be stupid if they tried to do that. I don't think the US is going to try to do that. That would be insane. They're probably going to say a percentage of bonds or something like that. But I don't think they can be so specific and say, but not gold, not silver. I don't think they can do that. I don't think they'd be able to get away with it. It's one step too far. One step too far. So there's a lot that we have to be looking at, especially if you're in the United States. You have to also be looking at what's going on, rules and regulations around the Clarity Act that passed the Senate. We're gonna have to still be worried about what's going on with budget for for the government. But I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna say, well, we're gonna approve this and we'll separate that and maybe avoid it. And I think it's gonna wind up being a kick the can down the road. And I think they're going to catch a lot of backlash over just kicking the can down the road, because this was a result of kicking the can down the road. That's becoming a problem, because now you're over a year in as the new regime and you still don't have a solution. Massive problem. Massive, massive problem. So something for you guys to be thinking about. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you like what we're doing. I hope you like what we've got going on with the site. Like I said, we're building a big, strong community. Big, strong community. And we're giving it all of the tools that we possibly can. All the information, all the articles, the feeds. The videos will be caught up probably in the end of next week, because we've just been busy. Big baggers, we got a couple of groups right there. We got big baggers. We have an SMB group, or a small, medium-sized business group, that we're going to be adding. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on. Anyway, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And as always, thank you for your trust. We will fight for that every day. Every day. Everybody have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. for the daily. I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.